Hi, Tom at Integrity Woodcraft here to demonstrate how to install the floor register after your floor has been installed. Here we're just clipping off the plastic damper on all of our legacy wood vents that come standard, so easy to take off without any screws or hardware. We just marked it out, the concealed frame, so that you know how to thickness to cut it to for your thickness of floor. You got to be very, very careful on table saw. Obviously, professional should only be using this. And once the floor is to thickness, we're gonna go ahead and go up to the room again and just check it for thickness. It looks perfect. So now we're just gonna set that aside, mark out a template so that we have a guide, because we're gonna use an osculating saw to cut out the floor that has already been installed over the register opening. So here we're just going with the miter saw and giving it a couple of end cuts. Now we're just taking it to the table saw and going with the grain there to clean out the hole. And once we get that done, we'll go ahead back to the miter saw to do a couple trim cuts to get that piece out from the back side. And now that that's broken out, we're going to just double check to make sure the frame fits. Now we're going to take some double-sided tape, put that on that little piece of scrap floor that we cut out, center that on that opening just how we want it. Check with your register where you want that. We actually put the register a little bit off center because we wanted to line it up with that joint that was in the floor. And now that that's securely attached, we're just going to run the oscillating saw carefully along the top just to get a track coming along the top nice and straight. And once that's done, then we start to go a little bit deeper as we and just start working it down and being very, very careful not to go past the corners, and then go ahead and do the same thing on the ends. And yeah, again, just not trying to get it right to the very corner, because we're going to take this template off and finish off the corners with that out of the way so we can see exactly what we're doing. Yes, and as the come to the end of cutting through, we got to get the template out of the way as mentioned. Now we're going to go in and clean out the corners carefully. We've been using a fairly straight blade here. It's got a slight round on the end, and it just seems to be the best one that works for us. So go ahead and try that. I'd suggest testing all this out on a scrap piece of wood before you actually do it in your finished floor. And again, some of these things, if you're not comfortable with it, it's much better to hire a professional to help you out with this. And just gently coming into the corners. And again, we lined it up with that joint in the floor because it was so close, and it's just a little off center, but the damper always has a little bit of play. So you got to check that out before you start cutting to make sure everything's going to get in there. And as we finish this up, we'll break that piece out, vacuum it out, give the edges a quick break, touch up the edges with the stain that matches, drop in our concealed frame, which is very unique. It leaves that minimal footprint. Once that's dropped in, we'll drop in our legacy wood vent floor register. Thank you for watching.